Hello, lady. How you doing? I am here today because I've been really sitting with this idea of how I can add more value into your life. What is it that you need? What is it that I can serve you with and support you with? And obviously we're all here because on some level we are trying to get out of our heads and into our bodies. And that's not to say that we want to completely bypass the mind, because that would be crazy, because we need our minds for many, many things. But it's more this idea of we have been so valued to be functioning primarily through our mind. So we really like all the rational thought and productivity and this sort of realm, the very masculine version of things, has been rewarded. And so what we are really here collectively to do is to sink a little bit deeper into our feminine and to ally again with our body and our body wisdom. And so sometimes that can get really out there because we're doing all sorts of stuff, right? I mean, sometimes I'm on a coaching session with a client and we're doing really simple stuff, like just identifying what it is in their diet that's not working for them, that's just getting them really toxic. And then sometimes I'm off in like woo-woo land and we are getting into the energetics of the body, and sometimes I'm pulling cards, and sometimes, so it can get really confusing, like what are we here for and what am I helping you do? And so I broke this down into what to me feels like, after doing this for a while, both with my one-on-one practice, in dance classes, in the workshops that I'm doing, is that it really comes down to a process that involves 4 steps. And of course, each step has sub-steps and and we flow in and out because we're in this like feminine paradigm. But just to keep it really simple, when you feel like things are getting a little confusing, like, oh, we're talking about this, now we're talking about that, and sort of all over the place, which definitely sometimes feels that way to me, I want to really hone us back into what it is that we are actually going through. What is this journey that we're going on together? Whether you're just on my newsletter, in my Facebook group, coming to the classes, or if you are one of my awesome one-on-one clients. Shout out to you ladies for the extra commitment. Anyways, so let's talk about what these steps are. So for me, I really believe that the body is the portal, that we can just go on in the mind forever and ever and ever and never really get out of it. We can keep thinking ourselves, like we are going to get out of this loop through thinking. Nope. Chances are you're not going to get out of this loop through thinking. So, step 1 in this process is really removing the static to your body voice. So what we're ultimately trying to do is, if we're going to have to ally with our body, we need to understand what she needs, what she wants, what she's asking for. And to do that, you need to first be able to listen. And you can't listen if there is static in the radio channel. And this is how I feel. I really feel like it's like a radio channel and we're just one knob off. And so step 1, and the reason why I continue to call myself a health and sensuality coach, is because I think it's so important. We cannot disregard the physiological layer of the body, the part that we actually see, right? We have to first go in there and see, 1, is there anything that you're eating that you might be intolerant to that you don't know about? Things that are toxic to your system, that are not really working for you, and that are, again, messing with that knob on the right frequency. Is there a hormonal imbalance? We just happen to be living in an age right now where there are so many things out in the world, from the food we're eating to the household products that we're using to the birth control that we have, so, that we've got really excited and, we fought for getting birth control and, we're able to get this beautiful thing that allowed for more choice and more options in a woman's life. But unfortunately, what we didn't take into account was all the negative effects it would have on our physiology. And so this is something that we're dealing with now as women living in 2016. is, the intense amount of soy in products, the insane amount of chemicals that we're breathing in, and of course, the pressure to not necessarily get pregnant because we're trying to get certain things happening in our lives and we may not want children. And so, making sure we're also quote unquote responsible, right? And we want to take care of ourselves. So there's all these things that we're navigating. And so really getting down to the physiology of it. Like, am I in balance? And what do I need to remove or add into my body from a dietary standpoint to really remove that static? So that's step one. Step two is a lot more, we're starting to go into the sensual and the energetics of the body. So being able to start to really tune in. So now we're on the right frequency, right? But we have no idea what's being said. It's like we suddenly ended up on like some other foreign language radio station. And we're like, what is happening here? It sounds like it's a good program, but I have no idea what they're saying. Right? Or you may be hearing a song, but it's like in Japanese. You like the way it sounds, but you have no idea what's being said. So this is the step where we are really focusing on you starting to learn the language of your body. Oh, shit, when I get this migraine, it must mean I'm by mistake ate something that I realized in step one was a problem for me, right? So it's like starting to really link the pattern, starting to understand the terminology and the way in which your body, the signs and symptoms that your body gives you that in the past may have seemed like a real challenge for you, where you're just like, oh, why is my body not on my side? I used to have that all the time, like my stomach's hurting and I got to get to work and I have a deadline and then I get a migraine and I'm like, God damn it, I just want to get this shit done. And all I want to do is take a nap. So once you get to that understanding of, oh, this is what she needs, and then she will be really, really happy and be able to complete this deadline or, create this beautiful project. I don't want to also just talk about it as a deadline, because it's a beautiful thing that you're birthing into the world. And sometimes you can get really, really frustrated if your body's not cooperating, and it's really just because you haven't had a conversation with her and you're not aware of what it is that she needs. So that's sort of the second step. And this is on some level, this is it's not a conscious process where I'm like, okay, this is how we're going to do it when I work with the women for 6 months. But, we're dancing the dance. It's in and out. And speaking of dances, I would say the third step is really what I like to call sinking into your feminine dance, into your feminine cycle, into the way in which we as women are different every week of the month. We just are. Hormonally, we have a different body every week. We are needing different things. So now that you've understood what your body needs generally throughout the month, now we're fine-tuning this into what does she need every week, right? During ovulation, I'm ovulating right now, people, and I'm like exercise galore. Like, take me to a Pure Barre class, take me to yoga the next morning, like, like, I want to go out, I want to do this, talk to me again in 2 weeks, and I'm going to be like, I haven't done anything in a long time, right? It's just the natural rhythm of our bodies. So really starting to study and understand what is the general theory of that, because no one's ever taught us that. And then two, how does this apply to my body, and what does my body need throughout the month? And how can I ally with my body to create a schedule that really uses her strengths throughout the month to create a life that really makes the most sense, so that instead of you committing to 100 social obligations the week before you are going to bleed and you're really tired and you end up flaking on all of them, create that space for those social obligations when you are ovulating. Like where I am right now, okay? All right, so that's sort of step number 3. And then I would say the fourth step, so can you see how much, there's so much sun. I look like I'm on a beach, which is crazy because it's like 20 degrees in New York and it's freezing outside. Anyways, so the fourth step here is getting to a place where you're tuning into magical living. And so this is really the ultimate I wouldn't say the ultimate goal, because again, that feels very much like we're just trying to get somewhere. And like I said, all of these things we weave in and out of them. But this step is when things start to get really easy. Like, you know what you can eat, what you can't. You know how to, when your body's saying something, and you know how to create a lifestyle throughout the month that really is in alliance with your natural cycle. And this is about getting to a place of mastery where you are, and this is continuous, right? I mean, we're all trying to be masterful at living, okay, and we try it in different ways. But this is where you really start to understand how to bypass the mind when needed, when you're getting into these places. And you have a toolbox of tools. You have a toolbox of tools that all plug you into your sensuality. So you've got all this other stuff figured out, and now it's about, okay, on a daily basis, in the moment, how easy is it for me to tune back into my senses and to create the feeling that I want in my body right now, even before I have the circumstances to feel that way. So, bank account, right? Money is such a great example of this because it can create such intense fear. I know I work through my money stuff over and over again, every month. Same thing. It happens again and again. And, it comes down to a feeling of safety, but that feeling of safety really in our body is this contraction, right? It is this feeling of like, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm going to be on the floor. I'm going to be on the floor. I'm going to be on the street. People are going to judge me as a failure, all the different stuff that comes up. And ultimately, this is a feeling in your body. Now, when you look at your bank account online, right, it's a number. It's really just pixels. There's no such thing. There's no physical amount. I mean, nowadays especially, it's not like there's actually cash in the bank. Let's be honest. It's just a number. It's just this idea. But this idea has all this control over your somatics. And so this step 4 is about having the toolbox to snap yourself out of that by connecting straight to your body, straight to your breath, straight to your senses, so that you can recreate a feeling of safety, so that something like a pixelated bunch of stuff on your computer screen that happens to say minus $5,000 because you're a little bit in debt, doesn't have that effect on your body, where you have taken that power back into your body, into your sensuality, and you are saying, I am the queen of my body. I rule this terrain here, and I'm going to choose how I feel by using these different tools that I've learned. So, I know this has been a long video, and if you're still with me, just bowing to your commitment here to really be devoted to your body and to this embodiment journey that we're all on. And if you're at all interested in delving more into the steps of all of this, I feel I don't have a specific call to action for you right now, but I get the sense over the next week or two, I'm feeling like I want to lead a call where I can also take your questions. I would love to do that, or just a chance to hang out, walk you through some of the stuff in more detail, and then hear from you and hear at what point are you in this journey, right? And so this is the other thing. It's like a lot of people don't know necessarily when to come to me, because I am sometimes working with women who are in step 1, and sometimes a woman comes to me and she's already in step 3, and her whole 6 months are about mastering, really sinking into that flow. So wherever you are on that spectrum, there is something for you. And ultimately, what we are trying to do is to get you to a place where you feel vibrant and alive in your body in this moment, because we are taking back this really, I guess, I don't know, it seems like an archaic woo-woo notion of body wisdom and feminine flow, and we need to balance things out. We have so much masculine energy in the world right now and in ourselves that we need to do these things for ourselves. So If you got anything, if you just had like an aha moment during this, while watching this video, you can always, always, always hit me up. I love to hear from you. I am at heartembody@gmail.com. Heart, like my heart. Embody, like the dance class, @gmail.com. All right, lots of love to all of you. Bye.